Our next speaker is Esmerelda Galaviz. She's a graduate student in the Department of Family and Consumer Sciences, and her topic is going to be about culturally competent responses to the challenges of dealing with renal failure.
The month of February is a very special month for me. It marks my father's 10-year anniversary. My father, Aurelio Galaviz, passed away on February 6th of 2006 at 4:30 p.m. Type 2 diabetes, along with liver cirrhosis, slowly devoured his body until the day of his death. It was very painful to see my father pass, but it is exactly what motivates me to become a registered dietitian and an active agent of change. I witnessed and shared his experiences with his healthcare providers, as I was often his interpreter during his doctor's visits. This is a common reality of many Latino families, where language barriers can be impediments to health outcomes. Upon becoming a registered dietitian, my goal is to address disparities due to language barriers of Latino, Hispanic, type 2 diabetes patients and their families. Type 2 diabetes is a major contributing factor to kidney disease and kidney failure. Today, I will address the need to provide culturally competent nutrition care for kidney failure patients and their families. Now, I have a question for you. How many of you have ever tried to follow a diet? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you were successful? Not that very many hands. The thing is that diets are hard to follow. Now, imagine a diet for a kidney disease patient where your kidneys are not filtering your blood properly. And if restrictions are not followed, it could lead to detrimental outcomes. As chronic kidney disease progresses, lifelong changes that include dietary habits become a must. Restrictions of important minerals such as your sodium, potassium, and phosphorus become necessary. Minerals, of course, that we also know as, yes, your salt, bananas, beans, lentils, and everything else. Now, for a normal person, potassium is a good thing. But for someone with kidney disease, too much potassium can lead to a sudden and fatal heart attack. Too much phosphorus can lead to weak and brittle bones. The U.S. Census Bureau estimates that by the year 2050, 1 in 3 people living in the U.S. will be of Hispanic origin. Hispanics have higher risk of type 2 diabetes when compared to non-Hispanic Caucasians. Let's remember, type 2 diabetes is a major contributing factor to kidney disease and kidney failure. With the increasing Hispanic population, there's a need to provide culturally competent nutrition care and addressing language barriers, as this will improve the quality of care and we will have better outcomes for them. Now, cultural competence, it acknowledges the culture that you're serving. It could be anything from having posters to materials that show and reflect familiar faces, to having bilingual and bicultural staff that can relate to those patients. Acquiring cultural knowledge can be as simple as learning a few words in their native tongue. The research shows the following. Hispanic Latino diets are high in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium. Staples include beans, tortillas, tomatoes. This generous enchilada dish, is it making you hungry? What do you think? Yes, it's high in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium. Additionally, the research shows Hispanic low adherence to the renal diet as it restricts staple foods. This enchilada dish, no more, no más. And we also know that there is increased adherence to the dietary recommendations when culture is taken into account. having knowledge of a patient's dietary customs and learning a few words in their native language can slow down the progression of chronic kidney disease. Given what we know about this problem, how can we solve it? Attending to cultural competence requires a small but significant change. From good morning to buenos dias. In the state of Arizona, Hispanics constitute 30% of the population, and there are over 600,000 Arizonians living with kidney disease. Currently, the National Kidney Foundation offers an English-only renal cookbook available to their patients. This is what we know. We know that Hispanic Latino diets are high in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium. We also know that there is Hispanic low adherence to the renal diet as it restricts those foods that they were raised with. And we also know that by making the material available in their language increases adherence to the dietary recommendations. My project focuses on making the English Renal Cookbook available by the National Kidney Foundation, not only for their patients, but for all. It's a very simple change. You would imagine that translating is easy, but let me just tell you that it's not. But the point is that a change so simple can have a tremendous impact. Remember the enchilada dish I told you that you couldn't eat if you had kidney disease? What if I told you that you can eat the enchiladas? What if you can eat them, but in a smaller portion? This is an example of how easy it is. It's a recipe card from the cookbook of the enchiladas showing the nutrition analysis. It shows the patient how much phosphorus, potassium, and sodium amongst other important nutrients in that recipe. Hispanics are the fastest growing and largest minority here in the States. Culture and cultural habits have to be considered when providing nutrition care. Reminiscing on my childhood, I was challenged with having to translate medical terms I was not familiar with. This often led to healthcare provider recommendations being lost in translation. We can help address healthcare disparities of Hispanic Latino kidney failure patients and their families. How? By providing culturally competent nutrition care and by addressing language barriers. It would be nice if instead of having children telling their parents the bad news, if the patients could read some good news for themselves. Thank you.